just really struck me like, wow, if I should spend time at any point where I have extra time, it should be seeking, finding
Yes,
that.
that's a wonderful attitude of a mind, that it is really becoming a seeker, doing anything in the world. The moment you go out in the world, do any damn thing, anything in the world. It is not giving us complete happiness. And one problem comes, second problem comes, third problem comes. And constantly we are running after the things, objects, and the events. My master used to say that the world does not have a problem. The world itself is a problem.
Yeah.
And that word includes your honey, our relations, our people, our body, our mind, our intellect, our ego. The word itself is a problem. That needs to be clearly. Once we understand it clearly, then there is an urge inside us. Oh, then what is the way? And the Eastern wisdom shows the way. So that's a very good. So what I will do today, that we will have 7 or 8 verses. Briefly, I will touch upon it. And so that it will intensify your seeking, and then we will explain those verses in detail. So in the chapter 5, we are understanding the 2 lifestyle and their processes in the first 7 verses. And from the 7 to 21 verses, it is the method, practices related to karma yoga and the karma sannyasa. Both go almost together. That is what we have perhaps understood in the last session. And we also discussed in detail about making an extra effort pulls my ego, and they raise the bar of the ego, and I fall into ignorance. When I fall into ignorance, then there is a problem. Ignorance, it causes the impurity of the mind, and then there is always a problem. And then we see I am making an extra effort, but no progress is being made. No, you need not to make an extra effort. You have to understand. You have to understand. So lack of focus is not inside. Focus is outside. Oh, I have been making an extra effort. Mind is divided, and there is a divided mind and intellect. I was talking day before yesterday. Intellect says I can do it, anything. I cannot do it. I can do it differently. And let me do it based on what is right and good. That was the question of Arjuna. Please guide me what is right and good and the best. So even in the midst of RSM syndrome, he was not allowing the mind to dictate over the intellect. That is the point of being a seeker. That is what you have expressed today, that yes, maybe a millionaire or billionaire, maybe have the Miss Universe or Mr. Universe marry me. There is no chance of getting into that objective of life.
I think sometimes we parade around as a seeker, but secretly inside we're still trying to chase after the world.
Yes. And that is where we want to make an extra effort. Oh no, I'm making an extra effort. I want to be happy. One guy who went from US long back, 84, 85, he is an Indian guy, Indian immigrant. He said that, what did you get spending 30 years in the Himalayas? So he was an IT expert working in the Intel. So my master laughed. So how much peace and happiness you got spending 20 years in US? You have everything. You have you have come to me to solve the problems of your two kids. They are not listening to you. You have a lot of money. Your wife, you have divorced your wife. So don't you get the answer that what I am doing spending 30 years in the Himalayas? You have approached me, I did not approach you. That is the beauty. Even your billion-dollar empire cannot do anything. So that extra effort we have to recognize at each and every step. The teacher helps us to recognize that at each and every step. So one thing where we should be very clear, it is the intellect which says, which says, I can talk to honey, I cannot talk to honey, I should talk differently, and I should talk what is right and good. Why the intellect can talk? Because it has a free will. Mind does not have a free will, and hence the animal mind, all the animals have that animal mind. Did I talk to you about the dog licking while people are doing meditation?
Yeah.
So yes, you see that, you see the mind moves in one direction only. Animal mind moves in one direction only. The one conclusion is that if I do not understand the power of intellect, I cannot find the real self. Then I'm getting carried away by the mind. And where the mind takes us to the pleasure seeking. So it means the journey to the self-discovery or the spiritual progress requires more than just an effort. I have to be very clear at the level of the intellect. I have to recognize the difference between the mind and the intellect. If I do not understand the difference between the mind and the intellect, it becomes clarity will not be there. And there comes the power of discernment. And that is what you did just while explaining to me. We have to work on reducing and eliminating the sensuous desires and the vasanas. That is coming from the mind. Then only we can, these are the latent tendencies, You have done 10 years of the practice in the journey, you have understood Gita, you are applying, and we do not know after 10 years the vasana, those tendencies may take over your intellect. Why and when it takes over the intellect? A slight raise of your ego. And all the tendencies takes over us. And when all the tendencies takes over us, then we start thinking that what happened? I have practiced 10 years regularly and daily. And nothing happened. Leave it. Let us go back to the same place. Because it is tendency is pulling you to the same pleasure. It was burning inside. It was accumulating inside, behind your practice. So it's a very thin razor's edge path. So we have to. So what is the solution? I have to integrate the intellect, heart. That means emotions and the mind. Intellect gives us the knowledge, mind or the heart gives us the emotion, and sense organ gives us the perception. So I have to integrate all the perception, the feeling part, and the knowledge part. The knowledge has to rule over my life. Knowledge of the real self, knowledge of the permanent peace and happiness. If it doesn't take, then we will.
When you're saying those three aspects, you're referring to in the activity of seeking, right? Not in the
No, even in the word, you are looking at the honey. You have perception, and the mind has a hatred. So now you have a hatred inside against your honey, but now your intellect is dictated by the mind. Now intellect becomes very clever. Honey, do like this, we follow we become so humble, but that humility is a sign of hypocrisy. So we have to blend all the three together in everyday life.
What is the emotion? What about the emotion piece?
What about the?
Well, because I always, when you read about or think about like dispassion, right? And
yes.
discernment.
Now see that you have a discernment. Discernment means, again, think of it. I can follow this. I cannot follow this. I can follow differently, and I follow what is right and good. So that is where the discernment comes. So the discernment chooses what. Oh, let me follow what is right and good and the best. The moment your intellect has chosen, your animal mind cannot press you. You have to choose it again and again and again and again until the mind says, yes, I agree with you. And when the mind agrees with you, mind goes through the sense organ, it has the right perception. So perception at the level of the sense organ, feeling and the emotions at the level of the mind, and the discernment at the level of the intellect. So you have integrated all the three. Now allow the entry of ego and then see what happens. You can easily understand. I should express in that way. Allow the entry of ego, allow the entry of likes and dislikes, allow the entry of anxiety, allow the entry of aversion or reaction, and then see what happens. Everything changes. Your intellect is dictated by the mind is dictated by your perception, and then the impurity of the mind takes over and you are gone. It can happen in a fraction of a millisecond. Fraction of a millisecond. Everything changes. Then you are so sad, otherwise you are so happy. You see that, what a beauty. That's what I say, the Master Krishna is a heightened level of a professor who knows what goes on into our tendencies and the impurities of the mind. Now you see the karma yoga from that perspective. Intellect is settled in the knowledge what is right and good. It is settled. Settled means it is not going to move away from it. Now the mind is pushing you with a negative emotion and reaction, but the intellect is not ready to move. You have a dispassion. You have a non-attachment. I will talk about the attachment also. Now the mind does not start thinking about the negative emotion. So when the mind is not thinking about the negative emotion, you see the same honey, your perception undergoes a change. And it happens in a fraction of a second. Fraction of a second. And so Master says, you see that everything outside is a manifestation of Shiva. So you say honey, but you see that honey is a manifestation of the Shiva. How can you fight with the honey? There is no chance. Your mind withdraws. It follows the intellect. What is right? And let us follow in a simple way. It has to be practiced again and again and again until we reach to a state it becomes natural to us. It becomes natural to us. So it means what is natural to us? Purified state of the mind. A really purified state of the mind. That is what the 7th verse says. We have covered that. When the mind is pure, whose mind and senses are under control, or you can say whose intellect, or I can translate this verse, whose intellect chooses what is right and good, whose mind follows it, means the mind follows the purity, and the sense organs are under control. That simply means my perception is clear. No, my perception is not yet clear. I wake up in the morning, next day, and the same thing happens. Go to the 4th chapter, Sama, Dhamma, Tapa, Titiksha, Uparati, Yajna. Do it. So it means now I understand my weaknesses. Oh, my mind takes over. I have to do the Sama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha. Oh, let me do it. Let me do this Yajna. Let me participate. So you see the 7th verse briefly is clear. Now if we go to the 8th and the 9th, Krishna gives a big statement. He says, I do nothing at all. You start negating. I see you, ask you, my eye sees you. I feel it, it is the touch, skin. I hear, it is the ear. I'm not listening. You are listening. But I is not there. You are watching. I is not attached to the. It is possible. I gave you one example. You look at me without any thought. So if you look at me without any thought, you can even not find out what gender I have. To know the gender, the mind has to declare. Now it is the mind which has a tendency to see the black as a black and ugly. It is because of the tendency. The white is a beautiful. Senses do not say anything. They are one-sided windows. This is what the master is referring to. Don't you see? Krishna is saying, don't you see that? Do you see the fact? The naked fact is that. That is the naked fact. That is the naked fact. Each and every sense organ, why we say it is sense organ? It has a sensation processed by the tendencies present in the mind in the absence of, I'm using your understanding, in the absence of discernment. So in the absence of discernment, there has to be attachment, there has to be a pleasure-seeking mind. And I'm caught in ignorance. And now that is the impurity Master is talking about. So once I understand, with that understanding, I declare, come on, I'm not the doer. I do nothing at all. I'm not doing anything. Even though I'm seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, sleeping, breathing, speaking, evacuating, I'm using all the sense organs and motor organs, but I is separate internally in the mind. Internally in the mind, I'm raising the awareness of the mind. Where is the problem of the impurity? Mind. So where I have to find the solution? In the mind. So if the mind does not declare that I do nothing at all and now I follow, nothing is going to happen. But mind has to follow with the intellect what is right and good. 7th verse. 8th and the 9th verse, I do nothing at all. So what exactly you are doing? You're killing, you're destroying that ego part, that I-ness. I-ness is so deeply attached to our perception, our feeling, our emotions, our thought. Ah, it is. It is so. So now in the 10th verse, Master says that you have to perform duty without attachment. He comes back to the attachment again. There is no person, I would say, a younger person after 18 or 19 years or maybe 15 years, once you have developed an I-ness or a sense of ego, everybody talks about attachment or, oh no, I'm attached, I'm detached. Whether you are in a profession or you are in a relationship or you are talking to your son or a daughter, but question is, do I know what is this attachment? That is more important. I talk that I'm attached, but what is this attachment? I give you a brief reference and then we will go deeper in our next session. I plus I desire is attachment. I plus I like is attachment. I plus I envy is attachment or detachment. They both move like this. I plus I hate you is attachment. I plus I love pasta is attachment. So first there is a thought which combines the two, I plus I like, I desire, I hate, I envy, I crave, I run after, I have lot of things to do. I plus I in terms of my thought, speech and action is equal to attachment. The moment I say I like pasta. So now there is emotion associated with the pasta, emotion associated with the honey. So you like pasta also and you like honey. What is the difference between the two? so, so we have to understand intellect is working. We are discerning. So you see the intellect, mind, feeling, emotion part, and perception part of this. So I clarify my perception now. Oh, liking is both present in the pasta and the honey. One liking I eat, other liking I have a sensuality. They appear to have two different emotions but originate from the same level of ignorance, and the impurity is causing me the problem. Perform duty, so do all the work without attachment. So that is what the 10th verse is. One who performs the duty without attachments, surrendering the action to the real self. I surrender, I recognize. Surrender here to take it. I recognize. My perception is also an action. My thought is also an. I like pasta, I like honey. So I recognize that action pertaining to the real self, not to my liking and disliking. I become free from attachment. Here and now. Where is the problem? Problem is in the mind. So where I have to find a solution? I have to find a solution in the mind. The previous verse says, I do nothing at all. So let me start thinking, I do nothing at all. And then I become aware of my eyes, my expression, larynx in the voice box. They all are speaking, but somewhere deep inside, many a times I experience that brain. Why the brain you are not working? How, from where you are thinking? I can't understand it. Why it is coming so spontaneously? Brain has got its limitation, lips has got its limitation, larynx has got its limitation, but something inside you says, no, continue, go on speaking little more. You have not been able to express yourself. That is totally different. And that is how you discern eyes, listening, speaking, etc., etc. So that is what the attachment is. Attachment, I plus, after all, I desire, I play, I like, I dislike, I attach, I do not attach, I have lot of work to do. That, oh, now you see I made it very simple. We'll talk in detail about this verse again, 5 plus 10, 10th verse. Now he says that what happens when you understand this, when you are doing without attachment. So that I is already there, but I plus I desire is gone. I like is gone. Oh, I like is gone. So what will happen to the mind? You have purified the mind. You have dropped your attachment. You are performing action with only the body, mind, intellect, and the sense organ. They are working. Let them work. Let them continue to work. They will continue to work. They will not stop until even after the death. So what you have done? You have done the purification. So link all the three. 9, 8, 9. 8, 9, I'm not doing anything. 10th verse, performing duty without attachment. 11th verse, result, purification. You become so spontaneous, easygoing, relaxed. How I am an intense seeker now. There is nothing. So that mind expresses, oh my goodness, there is nothing in the world. Oh. So I am in tune with the karma yoga now. Again, another definition of the karma yoga. 8, 9, 10, 11. Fourth verse. Look at it. Look at the beauty. And so, discernment in the intellect, higher level of a discernment in the intellect prevents the mind to dictate because of the tendencies it is present. Tendencies is impure, making the mind impure inside, and it perceives the world outside as a means of pleasure in avoiding the pain. So my perception is polluted, my mind is polluted. But when I do it with the discernment in the intellect, go back to the first chapter. Arjuna says, please, Master, you are my master from today. Please guide me what is right and good and the best for me. Look at it. So my intellect should continue to have a wick. If the intellect is a candle, so wick of a candle of discernment and dispassion. I should reason, I should contemplate, I should reflect. I should not allow any thought to get carries me away to the tendencies, under the control of the tendencies, supported by a faulty perception outside. Now you can attach. Why you will understand that why I have added 8 verses. I'm summarizing in brief. So now purification of the mind is there. Krishna never loses his sight. He says in the 12th verse, can you experience peace now? Yes, I'm experiencing. There is not only the peace is steady. So he uses the word. So once now you have dropped the attachment, You have purification of the mind. Because you have dropped the attachment, you have a purification of the mind, so that I is not seeking the result of any action outside. That is naturally takes place. And when that naturally takes place, you are in the state of the karma yoga. Okay. But what? He says, no, now that peace is continuous. That calmness is continuous. You wake up in the morning, you are in peace. You are doing your professional activity, you are in peace. You are talking to honey, you are in peace. You are eating something, you are in peace. You are going to the restroom, you are in peace. So you see, attachment is gone. Fruits of the action, idea of the fruits of action is gone because I plus I desire is gone. Are you getting it? And I'll explain it in very detail. It needs a very detailed explanation. A person, a seeker who performs their duties. Now he is saying, what is your duty? You do it. Forget about that I. Remember the I. Forget the I desire. That is your duty. Duty is to be done without expecting any reward. So you are. Oh, I told you. Yes, I told you. I told you many a times that you have to check you are in a state of karma yoga if you are in peace before the action, during the action, and after the action. Perhaps you remember. So now that is what the steady peace is. Oh, the 12th verse talks about. It is so simple. Yes, it is very simple for a seeker, and it is damn impossible for a non-seeker. But the non-seeker has to learn this to become a seeker also. It is all the level of your awareness. So now I could realize that I plus I desire binds me. I plus I like binds me. I plus I hate. I keep on thinking about that guy whom I hate, and that guy is sleeping soundly. What a great revelation and understanding. You see, all these are mixed up due to the attachment to the fruit of the action. Because if I plus I desire follows the result of an action, expected outcome. Now that I desire is gone, so expected outcome from the mind is already gone. So I am at peace. So the peace continues. Oh, the peace continues? Yes, peace continues. Peace can continue in every situation? Yes. Oh, go back again to the second chapter. I talked about it. Sin is nothing but unfavorable situation. Sin is nothing but my anxiety, anger, and reaction from inside outside. That anxiety, anger, and reaction has gone. Why it has gone? Contemplate on this, why it has gone. The secret lies in 8, 9, 10, 11, and the 12th verse. So you're not managing the anger, in modern psychology, anger management and stress management, continue to manage it. It will never be managed. They have no other option but to continue to manage their anger, stress, anxiety, reaction. That is why modern psychology, 50 years ago, they had hardly 1,000 mental disorders. Now they have 5,000 mental disorders. So they go on increasing the number of the mental illnesses. Now we are going a little deeper. In the 13th verse, Master says, body is the city of 9 gates, from where the mind goes out. with the tendency, without, in the absence of non-thinking, if I say, in the absence of discernment, in the absence of non-thinking, or in the presence of attachment, that mind goes out through the 9 gates of the body. So there are 2 chances. Option 1, it goes out, 2 ears, 2 eyes, 4, 2 nose, 6, mouth, anus and genitals, 9. These are the 9 gates. This is to be understood. Because I plus I desire, eyes, ears, sense of touch, mouth, taste, smell, anus, genitals. 9 gates. Or I have an option, the discernment. Discernment, with that discernment, mind is under control. It perceives the world outside, neither acting nor causing any problem to me, because I don't receive in turn anything in the absence of any tendency present in the mind, because of the power of discernment, because of the power of intellect. So I am on the way to discover myself. So Krishna has only said a positive note. When you have dropped all the action, you are not the actor, you are not the doer, you are not the enjoyer with the mind, then what happens? Then what happens? Your real self lives happily in the city of 9 gates. That real self. Now, that means that you are able to perceive that. That comes in front. At present, it is the mind and the tendencies, the impure mind and the ego and the delusion is in front. So Master gives the metaphor of dusting. Nothing happens to the mirror, but the dust is there. Nothing happens to the real self. But because of the dust, because of the dust, and what is this dust? Attachment, delusion, tendencies, impurity of the mind, anxious mind, like and dislike mind, stressed mind, pleasure-seeking mind. That is the dust. So the Master says, embodied one, 13th verse. He says, self, when you are perfecting the karma yoga, although living in the same body, you remain detached from the actions performed by these sense organs and the mind, understanding that the real self is not the doer. And if you have that understanding, that awareness that the real self is not the doer, obviously, steady peace continues. Go back to the previous verse. The peace is steady now. In this situation, in that situation. Today and tomorrow. In the morning and afternoon. In the evening and the night. You're not getting a sleep. Thank you very much. I'm not a sleeper. And then see what happens to you. Because I'm so much obsessed that I'm not getting a sleep. What should I do? What should I do? Doer? Oh, you want to make an extra effort to sleep? You cannot sleep. Do nothing. De-identify. But why you are not able to do identify? Because you are attached. What is this attachment? I plus I want to sleep. I'm making it simple in the first instant, and then we'll understand it deeply. Okay, this is what? So I plus I want to sleep. I want to sleep is a thought. Why I want to sleep has thought has come? Because I have lot of expectations the next day. Oh, from where it has come? From the tendencies already present in the mind. Oh, that is the animal mind. So I'm dropping. I want to sleep. No, I'm not sleeping. I want to sleep. I dropped it. I'm awake. Mind is clear. You'll get to sleep. Just one example. You can apply this example.
It's a
So
good example.
now let us go little. Now the master is going deeper in the 14th verse, the rule of the nature, the entire nature. Nature, entire nature, or the world, is made up of the three gunas. They are playing their role. Let them play. This has nothing to do with me. So all my actions, reactions, anxiety, duality, and a conflict belong to that nature. That nature is a matter. I am not the matter. I am consciousness and the real self. This is the meaning of this verse. And it is not so difficult to understand logically that that very subtle matter is the mind, subtler matter is the intellect, subtlest matter is the ego, and the gross matter is this sense organ, and the grossest is the physical body. All are matter. And matter is subjected by the three gunas. Even if I so called the die, the body dies, body continues to change. Body is changing when I'm alive, body is changing so called when I'm dead. Body undergoes a change. When I'm dead, body is undergoing a change when I'm alive. What's the difference? There is hardly any difference, except I am conscious of the body, I'm not conscious of the body. So, rule of the nature, it is just. So, what happens? You started with, I'm not the doer. I'm not the doer. I'm not the perceiver. I'm not the feeler. I'm not the thinker. I'm not the sleeper. I'm not the waker. I'm not the dreamer. We were all actions, and then we linked it to the detachment. From attachment, I have to drop it. And after the attachment, I realized that I'm in steady peace. Now, from that perspective, when I am absorbed into deeper state of meditation, I see that the body, mind, intellect, and ego, which are part of the nature, are continuously changing and working. It is the functioning of the nature. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. It is the nature that is acting. Nature is constantly. Now the master, our master Krishna is coming to it blows our mind in the 15th verse, the all-pervading so-called the God or the Shiva does not accept anybody's sin or virtue. He has nothing to do with he. Otherwise, he need to hire a lot of CPAs to keep an account of the sins and the virtues. So don't give responsibility of keeping an account of sin and the virtues to God. So question of confession doesn't arise. That sins and virtues is because of the knowledge of the real self is covered by the ignorance. So I experience in delusion. What I experience in delusion? I have committed sin, I have committed virtue. So now I have, because I'm doing karma yoga, so question of committing sin doesn't arise. Question of committing virtue or the good act doesn't arise, because all action, no action belongs to me. So when no action belongs to me, I have a state of the steady peace. What is happening then? I'm purifying my mind. Look at it. I'm purifying my mind.
I have a question on, so where would you think, I have this new feeling that comes over me occasionally, is like almost like a sense of, my business and all these things that are happening. I have a sensation like it's impossible. Like I kind of lose my what's the term? I kind of feel like a hopelessness in the. So some days I lack motivation to go do my duty because I feel like it's a hopeless mission. But what is that originating from?
Write down I plus I am hopeless. That is what I told you. So how to get rid of I plus I hopeless? I am hopeless. I have to use my intellect. The intellect will tell me that what is right, good, and the best. So I will definitely perform my duty instead of feeling hopeless. That I am hopeless or I am hopeful, both are gone. Let me continue to do my duty, what is right, what is good, and the best. How to do it? Think it, contemplate, and reflect. What is the best? You keep on doing it. When you keep on doing it, you got rid of I am hopeless from the I. So you also get rid of the expected outcome. And there the higher intelligence or the Shiva or the higher consciousness will work, will show you the way. So you are always active. There is nothing. If you become inactive, we have already covered that in the 3rd chapter. Karma Yoga, I have to do the Karma Yoga. Even in the very beginning, Arjuna is asking, okay, let me sit down and do meditation and the money will come to me. No, money will not come to you unless you work. But work without attachment.
Yeah, I was thinking it's coming from, obviously, attachment to
Hopeless.
the business or what I built or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Attachment there. Even though I intellectually try to make it not so.
You are in a very critical path, and that is giving you also an inspiration that how to get out of this riddle and the problem in my life, in my professional life. Follow Karma Yoga. Simple, follow Karma Yoga. You may have little more challenges ahead, or you have less challenges ahead. So those challenges are met by the practice of Karma Yoga. You don't allow your mind to either get I plus I am excited, I plus I am hopeless. So you have removed I am hopeless, I am hopeful. Now you allow the intellect to ask what is the best thing that I should do it today for the business. Do it. Without thinking of the outcome, do it. What is the best? Do it today, do it tomorrow, do it day after tomorrow. and then you will see the mind is now pure, calm, and steady. So once you recognize the mind is steady in the profession, you will overcome. Definitely you will overcome.
Well, that's kind of what made me realize I should neither be like chasing after fixing it to make everything okay, because that's an illusion, right? That's what started it in the first place. So to do the right action without thinking about the outcome.
So sure, how to do the right action? The intellect should come here. Intellect should discern. I can do it. I cannot do it. Drop this. I can do it differently. The first level of discernment. Let me do it in the best possible way, what is right, good. So now, once the doubt of the mind has gone, and you stick to it, of doing the right thing at the right time in the right situation. Keep on doing the right thing. Stay there. Stay calm. Allow the higher consciousness to take over you.
It seems the most dangerous aspect is thinking about the outcome.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Fruits of action. That is what, that is why I touched briefly on that. Do you see that? That is what I touched upon. I said, no, let me take the seven or eight verses. You see what it says, the 15th, 11th verse. Yoga, the seeker drops that attachment, performs the action only with the body, mind, intellect, and the senses. These body, mind, intellect, and the senses were performing the action with excitement, seeking pleasure, or avoiding pain. The ego part was very deep and strong. Now that ego is gone, and still the body, mind, intellect, and the sense organ are doing its activity, minus the ego part. So that will result into the purification. The purification will result into the steady peace. And the steady peace will open the gateway to the solution. But we are expecting the result outside. But I will also warn you that if you don't do anything, it's a delusion. No, delusion has to be changed to discernment. Otherwise, this delusion will take over your intellect, and the intellect will be paralyzed. And when there is an intellectual paralysis, we have an intense attachment, either way. It's a delusion, so I have to do nothing. Who says this? The mind. The mind itself in delusion, who is saying this? You have to get rid of that. You have to get rid of this. Mind, are you in peace? No. I am expecting a result, but this is a delusion, so let me do nothing. No, it will not work. I have to do it. That is why the karma yoga is. I part is not there. So I gave you a very clear understanding. I plus I desire, I plus I am hopeful, I plus I am hopeless, I plus I have a headache, I plus, go on. Go on. These are the tendencies we already have accumulated in the mind. It results into a non-thinking intellect thinks. If the intellect cannot make a choice because it has a free will, without the free will, I cannot find the real self. Without the free will, I cannot reach to this higher state of the karma yoga. These are the 7 verses clearly depicts this. That is what I say, head to the heart and heart to the hands. Head, discernment, what is right and good and the best to do. So when I keep on thinking, contemplated, reflected, From that perspective, mind, I see the heart. One mental element is there. Emotions. Heart means emotions. Emotions, feeling, expected result, expected outcome. Now this is clear. This should enter into the heart. Now this mind is steady. With that steady mind, I'm performing action, karma yoga. Keep on doing it. Never leave. That is why we say you have to perform your personal duty, your duty bound. What is your duty to the honey? What is your duty to the business? What is your duty to the daughter? What is your duty outside to the society? I have to do. We have not been doing this duty, or we have been doing it with attachment, with pleasure seeking mind.
It's amazing how I was telling Carlene, I don't know how it works, but the Gita is like my life is happening in it. The journey is my own journey. It's happening as we speak. I'm fighting this, like I feel like I'm Arjuna. It's so fascinating.
One should feel that we are Arjuna. We are Arjuna. And in fact, the Arjuna helped us to understand, because if Arjuna is not there, Gita was not there. Think of this. So we have to be thankful to the Arjunas. We have to be thankful to the Arjuna. And when we are thankful to the Arjuna, then we realize, yes, what a great life we can live. What a great life we can live. So you have to contemplate and reflect, go back and forth from 5.7 to 5.15, almost 8 verses. I talked about that, and see that what happens to your mind. Then you do the best. Every day you wake up in the morning, maybe you can spend another half an hour and 1 hour. Oh, here's the problem. Use the intellect. Check. When I'm using the mind, I feel hopeless. When I'm using the intellect, I have 3 options. I told you again and again, dog feels you licking, so it will continue to lick. They have only one option. So I plus I'm hopeless is only one option coming from the mind. So I have to use the intellect. I can do it, I cannot do it. So I cannot do it, I'm hopeless. I can do it this way, expecting the result. Or I can do it differently. Yes, first level of discernment. Oh, now what is the best? What is right, good, and the best? Oh, let me do it. And you are happy to do it. When you are happy to do it, you are definitely on the right track until you enter into your whole life, enter into the karma yoga. The past sins will be deleted very fast. Past sins, unfavorable condition that you are scared of coming in the future will not be in the mind. Understand this. So we think money will create a favorable condition. Answer is no. That needs to be understood at a very subtler level, and then you are a seeker. The seeker is performing the action, is doing the karma yoga, and that is all. You are enjoying.
Life is